Welcome to the Speaks Exchange podcast with your host, Donald Taylor. As a renowned learning and development industry expert, as well as chairman of the Learning and Performance Institute, Donald sits down with experts from around the globe to talk business communication, learning technology, language, digital transformation, and engaging, upskilling, and reskilling your organization. This podcast is brought to you by Speaks, the first intelligent language learning platform for the digital workplace. Listen in and you might learn a thing or two.
Hi, I'm Donald Taylor. This is the Speaks Exchange podcast. I have with me Bartek Polikovsky from PwC in Warsaw. In fact, he's the Learning Technologies leader at PwC CEE. Bartek will explain what CEE means in a minute. Bartek, great to have you with us. Can you introduce yourself? Let us know what's your current role and how long have you been doing it for?
Yeah, so hello everyone. My current role is CE PwC Learning Technologies leader, and I'm in this role almost 3 years now.
Okay.
I'm leading the team that is responsible for learning technologies across CE. So CE is basically a territory consisting of 30 different territories, as big as Russia and as small as, let's say, Tajikistan. Yeah, so it's a very diversified environment, and we are responsible for implementation and maintenance of learning technologies across all this region, promoting e-learning and technologies, also consulting regional and local L&D teams, because many of these territories have their own L&D teams. We developed content from time to time, and also do some user support, system administration, and last but not least, we are also do like a constant market research, looking for some new technology solutions that we can use to enhance our learning programs.
So there's a balance between the center and the outside in how things are organized. So Bartek, you've got a federated model there. You have the center, and there's some responsibility for learning and development in these different countries. How many people are there then that you are supporting the learning of?
Yeah, so basically CE is around 13,000 people across these 30 territories. And yeah, I've checked yesterday, we have something like 5 time zones, I think. I don't know how many languages we do speak, but it's also very diversified. So basically, many of our colleagues from the global team, they call us like mini global, because whenever we implement something in CE, like they see us like a single region, but they see that it's so diversified that you will find everything here.
What does CEE actually stand for?
Yeah, so CE is Central and Eastern Europe. Yeah, so everything from, like, if you are in Poland, you go down or turn left. So these are the territories that we support.
Fantastic. Now look, what's your background, Bartek? Because I'm really interested actually in the Polish scene and what you're doing at PwC, because I think this federated model is very interesting. But tell me very quickly about your background and where you've come from before you came into PwC.
Yeah, so basically I finished IT and project management, so I'm a technical guy. And after studies, I've joined, or during the studies basically, I've joined a project in Germany where I was developing e-learning platform. Of course, it was Moodle. And after this, I've decided to look for a job in this area. So since that time, I spent most of my career in insurance companies, and I probably went through all of e-learning related jobs. So I've started as a LMS admin. I was instructional designer. I was creating content, then implementation, e-learning implementation manager, e-learning coordinator in Poland. And almost 3 years ago, I've decided to join PwC and to coordinate this e-learning activities in a bigger area, so in CE.
Fantastic, thank you. A broad background, and actually I've noticed that very often if you have a wide background in your experience, then it really helps in the job rather than just having a very single line of focus.
Forms to build their own skills.
Bartek, I visited Poland, Warsaw, not very long ago. We met. I was very impressed by there being so much going on with learning technologies. Perhaps I just don't know enough about Poland. There seems to be a lot of strong startups, a lot of mature companies like PwC, like Accenture, that are using learning technologies. And obviously, you're at the center of this big mini global territory. So they've chosen Warsaw for that for a reason, probably because the skills are there. So where is it that those skills have come from? Why is learning technology so strong in Poland right now?
Yeah, so this skills basically comes from, I would say, from different places. Yeah, so there is no formal education in distance learning, so you have to get this experience by yourself. So basically, you can join a global brand like ours, and then connect with some experts, play with some technologies, get some more experience. So this is one way. You can attend some conferences, and there are more such events in Poland. And of course, well, my way was to join a project during my studies. And yeah, I've learned there like the basics of e-learning and how I can use it. So it's not that easy. Yeah. So basically, you have to have this internal motivation to get the skills.
Well, maybe that's it. Maybe there are some bright, internally motivated people, and because Poland's got a reasonably large population, enough of them that they find a route through. And what sort of things are people focusing on? You mentioned VR when we spoke last week about this. Is that something where there's a lot of that going on in Poland right now?
Yeah, so Polish companies are following global trends. Yeah, so right now it's much easier because everyone is on LinkedIn, is following experts who are online or attending the conferences. So you get this information, what's hot right now on the market. And you also get access to the latest technologies. And Poland was always strong in IT. So our programmers were also like winning some contests. And
right.
Yeah, and right now we have, I think, similar situation with VR. So there are many startups who develop VR content and also design some hardware for VR, like Haptic Clothing. And yeah, they are accessible on our market, and thanks to this, it's sometimes cheaper to get access to this solution. So basically, many companies are experimenting right now with VR. Probably the most popular are 360 videos with some interactions, because this is like the simplest scenarios. And more and more companies, as far as I know, are starting using some ready apps. So like making the small investments at the beginning, see how it works before investing some more money, because, well, this is quite new technology. Probably everyone heard about it, but not many people have already tried it by themselves. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those ones that it's always nice if somebody else does it first. I had no idea that this whole haptic clothing thing was happening at all in Poland. Are you using VR at all yourselves at PwC?
Yeah, I use it in PwC, and I use it privately as well. So yeah, for like different reasons, for self-development and for entertainment as well.
Well, go on. So let's start with the self-development. Most people think of VR as being something a bit distant, expensive to use, and something you'd have to have a very special, high-risk training need for. And you're saying you use it for your self-development. What on earth can you use VR for self-development? Yeah,
so basically most people think that, well, you have to create like personalized content. Of course, it costs a lot of money, but you really can start with something that's already available on the market. So, for example, I use some ready VR apps that you can download for a few dollars. that will help you to build your presentation skills, for example. I attend some meeting in VR, so using, for example, ArtSpace platform, where the experts are meeting and try to do something together. I've tried some apps for example, build language skills. So you will find a lot of ready apps that will help you with different topics. Yeah, so you don't have to invest and reinvent the wheel and start from the scratch, because each day, I think after Oculus Go was implemented and it became that popular, the vendors have started to develop the content like they do for the smartphones, for example.
Hardware, what are you using? Because most people are thinking about the headsets for VR has been pretty expensive.
Yeah, so we were lucky in PwC, because when we have started our research last year, we didn't have anything. But, well, that's the magic of big companies. We have found a team, completely not L&D team, which bought this first headset, and they were using this for some client projects, and they didn't use it after this. So there was it was HTC Vive. It had a strong computer, so we have started our research with this one, and thanks to this, we have promoted our research internally in our company. And thanks to this, our global community found out that, well, in Poland there is something like a VR hub, and they are doing some cool stuff. And they have invited us to join some global project. They shared with us some hardware. So this is how we got access to Oculus Go, for example.
Right.
And this is how we have started more, I would say, serious testing of different different approaches, how we can use VR in learning. Yeah. So in compared to the, I would say, maybe not old-fashioned, but older models of VR headsets, the one that are now available in the market are really game changers.
Yeah, there's no question that the new VR headsets are extraordinary.
Yeah.
The new one from Oculus is amazing. I've always been skeptical about it. I've been having some conversations in the past month that have been making me change my mind. And this is one of those conversations. So thank you for that. And I guess this is anybody listening, the lesson is don't close your mind to things. Things can always change. The hardware cost is coming down, and the idea that there's off-the-shelf software, I think for a lot of people that'll be an eye-opener.
Another way is that more and more companies vendors are like presenting their own authoring tools. So basically, like Amazon or Google, you can create something by yourself without even programming skills. So I would say it's similar to the e-learning market. I remember some times ago you needed this programming skills to develop the e-learning course, and then a few tools appeared in the market, and everyone was able to create some simple content. So I think
it's very good analogy. And what's happened is the cost of the hardware has come down.
Yeah.
The cost of the tools and the software is coming down, and now it's becoming something which can indeed be used. Of course, it doesn't mean it's the answer to all training, but it's useful for some things. But you mentioned when we were talking about this, and we'll get off VR in a second, but I'm just fascinated by it. You mentioned using VR for presentation skill practice. How does that work? Can you very quickly, what on earth can you do with VR for that?
Yeah, so basically what you can do, you can upload your own presentation, you can select the audience, like a huge conference hall or a classroom or like recruitment room, and then you just turn on the analysis, you start to speak, and the application is monitoring how do you speak. Is it not too loud? Is it not too fast? Are you covering all of the audience with your eyes? And and you also get some instant feedback. So whenever you're like looking only at the one side of the room, you will get notified these people on the right hand side. You have to look there as well. And of course, all of these things like you can hear some phone calling, someone is coughing, some background noise from the speaker. So I would say right now it's one of the best way to build your presentation skills. So before that, I was like launching the presentation on my laptop and
Sure.
going from one side of the room to another. And right now I'm putting the headset, I'm selecting the audience, and that's it. Yeah. So
I love it. I think that's a good example of a VR application for training and self-development that I would never have guessed at. When you put it that way, it makes perfect sense. And I don't think I've ever seen you present, but I'm sure you're really, really good as a result of using this.
yeah, I had one presentation yesterday and the feedback was great. So
There you go. So it works. Fantastic.
yeah, it works. I feel better, you know, more confident after trying this in VR.
You know what? When I'm going to do a talk at a conference, I always insist on going to see the room, ideally the night beforehand, standing on the stage, and I it sounds a bit silly. I talk to the audience. They're not there, but I do all the things I'm going to do talking to the audience. And then my mind can process it while I'm asleep. This is really, in many ways, a much better way of doing it because you could do it well in advance. Sounds fantastic. And you're convinced this helped you?
Yeah, of course.
Brilliant.
I have numbers for it.
You've got the data. Fantastic. Yeah. So look, VR is that's one technology. So it's a niche solution.
Yeah.
Broadening that out, when we were talking last week, you were talking about a learning experience platform that is being rolled out across PwC.
Yeah.
We're not going to mention any brand or vendor names, but what are you doing with that? How do you get people involved? What's the difference between LXP, learning experience platform, and an LMS? Can you just tell us something about it? And I'm going to interrupt you with lots of questions because lots of people are talking about LXPs, but it's nice to hear somebody who's actually implementing one. Yeah.
So, well, this was really one of the biggest project that I took part in. So basically, we have implemented in CE our internal learning experience platform. So we haven't used anything available on the market, but something that was developed from scratch for our needs. And it was a big project, not only because of this solution, but it's combined with the mobile app. And you can imagine in a company like ours, you have a huge repository of different learning assets. So in CE, for example, we had over, I think, almost 3,000 different learning assets and a few hundred content owners, and many of them haven't already worked for PwC. And this was a huge problem because people weren't using our previous LMS because it was hard to find anything, and if you even found anything, you weren't sure if this is up to date or not. So it was. I would say it was like a mandatory course monitoring system, something like this.
Right.
Yeah, and
which is not uncommon.
Yeah.
For the learning management system, very often it is used purely to deliver and, as you say, monitor how people are fulfilling their mandatory training requirements.
Yeah. But
were people using it for anything else, Bart?
That's a funny story that I have mentioned during our last call, that it wasn't intentionally, but we had some technical issues, and it wasn't possible to search for learning objects in the system for, I think, 1 or 2 days, and we didn't get a single request from our employees, which means they haven't used it for their own needs. They use the system with whatever they had to. Yeah. So basically, whenever they were asked by their managers to do something, and they got a link to the material, or whenever there was some mandatory course festival. Yeah.
So the system was effectively not quite down, but you couldn't find anything for 2 days, and 13,000 people didn't notice.
Yeah. One of the reasons was probably this diversified structure that I have mentioned before. Yeah. So it's not like single L&D team and single learning technologies team that cooperate. Yeah. We are a learning technologies team for the whole region, and there are local L&D teams, and we have to cooperate, and people change their role, so it's quite complicated.
Okay, so people weren't using the old LMS as well as they could do.
Yeah.
Now, where are you on this journey? Have you launched the LXP? Is it about to be launched? I'm very interested in how
Yeah,
you're
so
working with people to ensure engagement.
yeah, the system was launched 2 months ago.
Mm.
And yeah, it's completely, I would say it's a revolution. It's not evolution, because I would say everything is changed. So the user experience is much better. It contains this LXP functionality. So you whenever you open the system, you get, even by email, if you define your interest, you get recommendation based on your profile, on what are you interested in, on action of other users at the same grade, for example, as well.
Right.
You have access to really top quality content, internal, but also external. Yeah, so we are connecting different training repositories that many people weren't aware in the past that we have access to. Yeah, so yeah, right now everything is in a single place. People have more control over the content, so they can build the playlist, add the elements, share the content with other people, but they are also able to add their own content, so they are becoming more like content creators as well. So even if you want to find an interesting topic, which I think would be hard right now because there are so many cool stuff inside, you can add it by yourself. And yeah, this is I think one of the biggest values, because whenever we are asked what's the advantage of this solution over, let's say, Google, yeah, you will find everything on Google. I always answer that this content that you will find in the system is basically selected by someone from our company, some expert who thinks it's the best for you, for me, for our company. And there's also the rating system, the comment system. So basically, we can recommend ourselves the content. So it's much more interactive. It's live, and finally, it's connected with Learning Record Store. So we are able not only to see and report the completion data, but also see the trends, see what people are looking for, which is completely new and brings so much new possibilities. Yeah.
So you're generating data there that you can use. I
yeah.
mean, it's early days yet, but have you got any examples of where you've got some data and it's shown you something that you weren't expecting?
Yeah, so basically we are monitoring different activities right now of our employees. We see if they basically entering the system, what are they looking for? And what's interesting for me is that yeah, the number of people who are using our solution is growing. So basically we have, I don't know, around 3,000 different users entering our solution weekly, and they are looking for different stuff. They are adding the playlist, so we see they are using these functionalities. And one day we had, for example, an issue with the mobile app, and sorry, no, not with the interface, desktop interface. And we have seen in this in the dashboard that people have switched to the mobile app, so they had access to the content, and they knew that there is another way to access it, and they have started to do it. But what's the most, I would say, fascinating and important for me is that people are really looking for different kind of materials, so that are not like in the past mandatory courses. So they are looking something about programming, they are looking for something about new technologies, they are looking about some information for new joiners. So this was one of the goals of this implementation, to have a single place where they can find the information. Yeah.
Have you tried turning off the search function?
Not yet, but we monitor that people are searching. So yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's too dangerous an experiment to try. But it sounds, if people are making the switch, if the desktop isn't working, they're making the switch to mobile, it suggests that we've got enthusiastic users there. Which is brilliant. How are you ensuring buy-in, engagement?
Yeah, so we have started with very different implementation, I would say. So basically, what I've seen whenever a company implements a new technical solution, a new system, they speak a lot about this functionalities, why it's so great. They show the interface and the mobile app, and try to encourage people to try this new cool solution. We have tried a different approach, because in big companies like ours, you have a lot of different implementations going on. So basically, people are a little tired with new systems, with new tools, because they have to learn, have to change their processes, etc. So like implementing a new solution for them, meaning like I have to do something differently, I will have some more work. So we have started the campaign with like identifying the pain points, what people think about our L&D offer, and show people that basically we listen to their needs. And after this, we in the second stage, we have gave them some answers. So how this new solution will answer their needs or the issues that they have raised. And at the very end, we have showed them this technical phase of the solution to basically invite them to use it, and also tell them something more about the functionalities. Yeah, so we wanted to make them, to encourage them before like presenting the final solution. So this was the first step. And
just to summarize that, you've got people in a large organization, and
Yeah.
they're suffering from what we would call initiative fatigue. They're tired of these new initiatives coming out.
Yeah.
And so you don't sell it as, hey, we've got this new thing, but rather you sell it as, we know you've had pain with your learning, and we can help you solve that. We can be an answer for you. Which sounds very sensible. Sorry, I cut you off. Now, you were saying that's the first bit. You
Yeah.
raise these three things, and then what happens?
Yeah, and after the launch, we have communicated to the territories that's like, well, that's the beginning of the journey. Yeah, so it's not the end. That okay, balloons, champagne, unicorns, and we are done. Yeah, so this is just the beginning. So we are constantly building awareness of this new solution in the territories. So we share some details about the functionalities. We answer L&D questions, try to encourage them to use the solution. If they are looking for some consultancy in learning technologies, we always recommend this new approach. We also share the statistics from the learning record stores, so to show them that, well, basically people are using it and how they're using it. So, well, for example, they are looking for some content on programming in Python, so maybe you can do something about it. Yeah, so we are showing them that finally e-learning is, I would say, it's live, and it's getting popular.
Right.
And we also try to exchange ideas between different territories, because, for example, in Russia, they did some contests, or they share some information on Twitter. So we try to build this knowledge base and share the best practice across the territories. And also, we are constantly looking for some hot topics in the network, trying to find interesting content on this topic, and also share it with local L&D teams. We attend L&D events, and basically we try to do as much as we can with the communication. Yeah, so we want this system to be loud in our organization.
I like that idea of it being loud. You're talking about learning technology in a way that a lot of people wouldn't really think about it in a large organization. In other words, I think you're looking at it from a very agile point of view, trying things out, being very open to new ideas about marketing and promoting it. Whenever we've talked, I've always noticed you've mentioned the idea of experimentation a lot. But
yeah.
Why is that important? Is it you? Is it PwC? Where does this idea of experimentation come from, and what difference does it make? And should everybody be doing it?
Yeah, so I read a lot and watched a lot of videos about user experience some time ago, and it was quite popular. So I've decided to try it. So yeah, prototyping, I think, is the best and safest way to implement anything new in organization. Yeah, so definitely, like I mentioned before, we don't have a huge budget to like buy everything and try everything and then like collect the feedback and decide if we will like use the solution for another year. You have to be sure before implementation that this is something that will bring value to our company. So like with this VR, we start small and slowly go big. So we looked for hardware available in the company. We try to find, we speak constantly with the vendors, because I think this is one of the best solution whenever you're interested in new technologies and see what's available in the market. So vendors are always like helpful whenever you want to, I don't know, try new hardware. They always have the newest model, yeah, with them. They will show you what's their solution, so you don't have to buy everything to see what's available, how it works, and even sometimes you can rent the hardware and test it with your people. And yeah, so this help us to make this awareness of the technology in the organization. So, well, I cannot do something like this that okay, I've read some let's say articles and found some interesting business cases on LinkedIn, and then I will go to my manager saying, come on, we have to implement this VR. I need $20,000 and let's do it. We'll see if it works. It have to because it worked in other companies. So we have to slowly build this awareness and encourage people to try it, and it really works. So basically we've done some small pilots with a few headsets and this sample content, and after this few pilots, this few presentations, business came back to us asking some more details, if they can use it, how they can use it, how much does it cost, what's possible, what's not possible. So we have started this discussion about this new technology, and yeah, so the next step is to try to like develop something more, maybe more personalized for our needs, or buy some other hardware, but we do it like step by step.
That's step by step, meaning that you show it and you get interest in it and you prove the case.
Yeah, I think it's well, in our case it's the only way, because we can like wait and see if, for example, there will be another global project that will bring this to us, yeah. But maybe it will, maybe it won't, and yeah, we really like what we do, and we really like to try. So I'm really excited whenever I try some new device and I can play some new app and see how it works and then present it to the business. So this is really something interesting.
Okay, look, that's fascinating. And everything you've described is not limited to being in a large company. Experimentation is something you can do whatever size you are, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So everyone can start with some first small step. Yeah,
we can all start somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay, Bartek, there are two questions I always ask everyone at the end of every interview, which is, what do you wish you'd known when you started out in learning and development, and what are you curious about right now?
Yeah, so I've started like about, I think, 10 years ago, maybe 11. I would love to know the lottery results then. So then I would be rich right now. Yeah, I'm
going to change that question to say, what would you wish you'd known professionally when you started?
Professionally, okay. Yeah, I would be like a rich professional right now. So yeah, I think the most important thing is the power of the network. So basically, you can do a lot of interesting things in your area, even without a large budget, huge team. If you connect with people, do the proper networking, and become visible on the market. Yeah, so this is really important. And yeah, I always try to be active, but I think you have to start it very early and build your network professionally. It really helps in your career.
Well, I got to say, Bartek, I think that is really good advice. And the best way to build your network is to be useful and helpful and interesting, not just by going around.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so that's good advice to anybody who's starting their career, or at any point in their career. What are you curious about right now? Well, and don't say tomorrow's lottery numbers.
Okay. So I'm thinking about artificial intelligence because it's at the very top of everything right now. Really hot topic, and it's hard to find anything that is not AI supported right now. So even toys for the children have something with artificial intelligence. So I'm really interested. Is it really going to somehow change our L&D market, or are we going to stay at this stage that we are right now? So at some level of personalized solutions, maybe some simple chatbots. So yeah, that's really interesting because there's a lot of different opinions about this topic. And
do you have any idea yourself where are we going to go with AI?
No idea, really. We are right now. We are doing some small research and try to see what's available in the market, what the vendors are offering. But I wouldn't say these are very mature products, and I wonder if they are able to go this one step ahead and really make a difference. Because for me, it's still more artificial than intelligent, I would say. So. Yeah, so basically it's more like a smart algorithm than something that you can really call intelligent.
So it's you're curious about it, but you're not necessarily committed to it changing everything.
Yeah, so like with everything, we are trying, we are thinking how we can implement this, just to be aware of such solutions on the market. But we are now observing how it's gonna be developed in the future.
And I think a lot of people are doing the same thing with AI, sitting back, watching what's happening, and in the end, we'll see the impact. Well, there's impact now, but we'll see the bigger impact once the people who are sitting back start to get involved and use things.
Yeah.
Bartek, it's been really good speaking. I know that the people listening will have had a lot to think about, and perhaps had some ideas shaken up about what's happening outside the UK and the US. So, Bartek Polakovsky from PwC CEE, Learning Technologies Leader, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Donald. It was a pleasure.